Hello my friends and welcome to another Tuesday of tutorial. I am Leonardo Perez Nieto and today we will draw a sapphire on an iPad with an Apple Pencil using the program Procreate with a small and soft airbrush and a dark blue. And now let's activate the grid. Going to Tools, Canvas and Drawing Guide. We make a rectangle and leave the tip down for a couple of seconds so it optimizes. Make lines cutting the corners and rounding slightly the sides. You may leave the tip down for a moment in each case for the line to optimize. If you prefer to draw the sapphire with color pencils, I also have a tutorial for that. And of course the technique to do this is on my book Simple Techniques for Realistic Drawings. We erase the sketch lines, leaving only the perimeter. Jewels are cut with many facets. We don't see them all, but let's draw many to represent the idea. We make triangles or other shapes of different sizes. Some you may want to draw them symmetrically, the same on one side than the other, but not too many. You may make different shapes on one side than the other. In this case, we will leave a fairly large, flat space in the center. I made it hexagonal, but with the sides not of the same size. And we keep drawing small triangles and other shapes all over our figure. Of course, you don't need to do the same as I. They can be different. In fact, I am inventing and improvising as I go. Good. Now we can grab the dark blue and drop it on some shapes. And if we find that some are too large, we divide them further. Let's mix a lighter grayish for the middle section. And now that we have it, we can also drop it on some other places. And we keep making different shades, different tonalities of blues, violets and purples. Some light and some dark. I also dropped a light gray on a different layer for the background. I invite you to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to stay up to date with the news, new experiments and creations. @Artist Leonardo. Thanks. I forgot to mention that I am using the program Procreate to draw. And we carry on in this way. This is very relaxing and enjoyable. The list of tools and materials that I am using is in the description below the video. We also should make some shapes on the central part. I mean with colors and values that are somehow close to the original color, because this is supposed to be a flat area and the shapes that we are seeing are underneath. And we keep filling in the rest and dividing larger shapes into smaller ones. And we may also create gradations in some of them. We do this using low opacity in our brush. A sapphire, of course, is a precious gemstone. It is normally blue, although it can be of different colors, such as purple, greenish, pink, etc. When the same type of stone is found in red, it is called a ruby. Sapphires are also the third hardest mineral. Of course, the diamond being the hardest of all. I'll darken some areas within some of them. This shading can create the illusion that some are higher than others and that they are facing in different directions. Let's draw also some lighter ones, some small ones but brighter. Now I think we should take off the corners of this larger area to make it a little bit more interesting. We make a new layer, and with a light grayish violet, we will pick a larger area, like so, and we will paint it all of that color, flat. We fill in the line, because when you drop the paint in an area, the line stays blank. And then by selecting the layer and clicking on the N, we can control its opacity. We lower the opacity so that we can perceive both the layer that we just made and also what is underneath. This creates a really nice effect of transparency, so we will repeat that in different areas, each on a different layer if we want, so that we can control them separately. Or we can make some similar ones on the same layer and some on a different one, as you prefer. And we can deactivate the main layer to see more clearly what we are doing. In this case, I will add a couple on the same layer and then more on different ones. We can, of course, also make darker ones. Definitely use a new layer for this. And we lower the transparency. Beautiful. If you are drawing with pencil, you can create a similar effect by burnishing. That is, by rubbing really hard on the whole area after you did all the detail of the triangles with a single color. In that way, you can create the transparency. For this smaller one over here, I will simply add a little bit of color to the original layer with a low opacity. Let's create another one of the larger ones over here. And that is because I don't see that the brighter spots blend in too well. So this layer on top will help. Good! Now what I would like to do is to give it some bright reflections. A few triangular sections that give us more light. I think that will look really good. And we lower the transparency slightly here as well. Not as much as in the other ones, because I want it pretty bright. Let's create a couple of more. And lastly, with a wide and soft airbrush, let's draw the cast shadow. Of course, this on a layer underneath. And let's make it darker, closer to the jewel. I think it is a little bit too wide, so with a soft eraser we fix it. Very good, excelente, it's ready. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe to Fine Art Tips if you haven't done so already, click on the little bell to get notifications of new videos, and I will see you with more creations on Tuesday.